When the President of the United States comes to New York City, keeping him safe is a top priority. Earlier this week, the city launched a massive security operation to prepare for President Trump's very first visit to his hometown since taking office. But providing that kind of security for the occasion requires many layers of NYPD resources and highly trained units at the ready. And I got an exclusive behind-the-scenes first-hand look at what it all entails. For the first time since it began in 1845, the New York City Police Department is tasked with protecting a U.S. president who calls the Big Apple home. An enormous responsibility, but like no other police force in the world, the NYPD is up for the job. Among its active force of 36,000 officers is a team of 1,500 men and women devoted to one job: counterterrorism. And with the president's first visit this week since getting elected, the job becomes that much more critical behind the scenes to not only protect the president, but to protect this great city and its millions of residents.
We're protecting the President of the United States if he's in residence, working for the Secret Service. Two, when he's not in residence, we're protecting a building that went from being one of the buildings on Fifth Avenue to what could be argued is now a symbolic target.
A job that takes intense training and many layers within the NYPD.
Whether it's the Counterterrorism Bureau, which is the bomb squad, the radiation detections, the network of camera systems, the explosive detection dogs, the biohazard detection devices, or the Intelligence Bureau, which is the investigations, the sources of information.
Layer 1, officers armed with long guns visible to the public guarding Trump Tower. Together with the Secret Service, the Counterterrorism Critical Response Command Teams, or CRC, have President Trump's every step covered. Layer 2, the not-so-visible NYPD counter-sniper team. And we got an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at how they train using a magnified scope on an M4 assault rifle.
So at the 200 yards, that magnified scope allows us to center in on a target and crosshair a target at 200 yards, just as if it was 25 feet away. We prepare everything from a hostage situation, so where we would take that 200-yard shot up to that 200-yard shot. Anything from a perp search, a man with a gun, so we can protect our team as they walk in.
Using simulation training, officers are placed in real-life scenarios, armed with virtual weapons from a handgun and mace to a baton and taser. Here, I'm responding to shots fired and have been told there's an active shooter inside a New York City bodega. I find bloodied bodies on the floor. The lesson in these scenarios is not to overreact, but to be ready to use force if needed. I draw my gun, but it's too late. I try again. Next, I respond to a forced entry and burglary. I encounter someone inside. This time, I'm ready. After refusing to follow orders, he raises an object at me. I shoot.
Put your hands
but
up.
was it the right move? Did I get him?
You did, but that was just fake work.
An eye-opening reminder of the intense pressure trained police officers are under every day, knowing it takes just 1 second to make a life or death decision. And Layer 3, an eye in the sky. Sniper teams are not the only counterterrorism layer the NYPD provides. In fact, heavily armed officers or ESU teams are at the ready to rappel from helicopters like this one, either onto the ground or onto rooftops. The Emergency Service Unit, or ESU, not only has a Plan A, B, and C in place, there's a Plan D. These teams are trained to respond to the unpredictable. In a scenario requiring force, officers can deploy from a helicopter onto any platform anywhere in the city within minutes. So, as you can see, a tremendous resource in terms of people and costs. Officials estimate it costs just under $150,000 daily to protect Trump Tower alone. That daily cost doubles to about $300,000 when the president is in town. The good news, though, Congress announced this week it has approved a federal budget to reimburse the city the tens of millions of dollars it's already spent since campaign then candidate Trump became president and foot the massive security bills moving forward. We want to thank the NYPD for giving us that exclusive look and the men and women here keeping our big and beautiful city